for free money.
For your bookie.
Free money. My college football picks against the spread last week. We guaranteed ourselves a winning season. Went 3-6. That's all we needed to do. But we are 65, 54, and 3 with only 10 games to go. We're 11 games above 500.
10 bowl games after this?
So there will be
8 bowl
games plus the 2 championship games.
Okay.
So there's only 2 games this week.
Uh-huh.
But I figure, listen, I'm a guy who, I'm here for the people.
No shortcuts.
No shortcuts.
Yeah.
Let's start, Max, I told you Baton Rouge.
Well, I didn't write it on there anyway. Don't worry. It's in Boca Raton.
In Boca Raton.
Yeah. Those are 2 very different places, which is
extremely different.
It's impressive how wrong you got that.
Yeah.
The rematch. North Texas versus Florida Atlantic, 11 a.m. Saturday. The Mean Green 11.5-point underdogs after the walloping that they took last time around.
Yeah, and that's the big question, right?
Yeah.
Last time these 2 teams faced, if you forget,
It was a bludgeoning.
It was not good for North Texas.
FAU scored 69 points.
They did. It was a very nice game for Florida Atlantic. The last time they played was a mere 6 weeks ago.
Was not that long.
It was on October 21st, and it was 69-31. And Florida Atlantic rang up 800 yards of total offense. 800 yards of total offense.
It's a few.
And so here, this is a full-fledged re-rack of that game because the game is again in Boca Raton.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I don't feel great about North Texas here.
Right.
Going on the road where they have been a lot better at Apogee Stadium than they have been on the road. Just consistently better at home than they have been on the road. Even not necessarily in results, but in performance is what I mean. Like you look last week against Rice. They should have mollywopped Rice. And instead they kind of kicked around, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt that they're going to score. But the problem, although we will say Jeffrey Wilson's out for this game.
Right. That's another big issue here.
I think Nick Smith has proven himself to be quite capable. Had a great game last week.
Yeah, but you'd love to have both.
You'd love to have both. And that is why I just don't think that. I think this is closer. I don't think they lose. I'll put it this way. I don't think they lose by 38 again.
No.
But I do think they lose by more than 11.
Okay.
So I'm going to take Florida Atlantic minus 11 at home. I think they cover it.
I'm rooting for #weird football in North Texas, making this interesting.
I would love for them to turn the ball over like 6 or 7 times and make this thing really fun. But I will say that I think that going on the road, if this game were on a neutral site, I think it would be a different conversation.
Maybe.
But the fact that it's on the road kind of gives me a little bit of pause. So I'm going to go with FAU. What's next, Max?
The only other option. 11 TCU taking on 3 Oklahoma, 11:30 a.m. Saturday. TCU 7-point underdogs, which I think is very generous.
I think it is, too.
The way things have gone the last 3 games for both teams.
Especially considering when you look at the last time these teams played, which was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. It was a whooping.
It was a whooping. It was 38-20, and honestly, it wasn't that close.
Nope.
It was not that close. It was an 18-point game. Now, that game was in Norman. This game is on a neutral site.
Yep.
The other thing, and there's reason to believe in both. I think there's reasons to go with both sides of this. If you want to go with Oklahoma, it's pretty simple. Their offense has been unbelievable.
Unreal. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And, by the way, Nick Orr, the safety for TCU, was suspended by the Big 12, was suspended for the first half. And, by the way, what happened in the first game?
Yeah.
Oklahoma jumped all over him in the first half, and it didn't matter who was playing in the second half. So that's one thing. The other side of it is, one, if you want to take TCU, I think that if there's a coach that I don't want to play twice in a season, Nick Saban's probably number 1, and Gary Patterson's probably number 2.
Yeah, that's a good call.
He's a guy I do not want to see a second time. The other thing for me is that I think being on a neutral site helps. This is essentially, it's a lot closer to a home game for TCU than it is for Oklahoma.
Yeah, but there'll be a hell of a lot more
There'll be a lot of
Sooner
Oklahoma fans,
there.
but it'll be a lot more 50-50 than it was up there in Norman. And there's that.
Maybe.
That said, what you're doing is you're asking TCU to close a gap by 11 points in the rematch. I'm tempted, but I think I'm going to go with Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I think
that's reasonable.
I think that their offense is playing such lights out right now, and I think that you're going to see I think TCU is going to miss Nick Orr. I really
TCU,
do.
Look, here's the thing: if TCU had done anything in the last 3 weeks that would had been remotely exciting, but they haven't.
They haven't. I mean, their last 5 results. Think about their last 5 results. Like, they've won.
Basically, the Iowa State game screwed them up permanently.
It's like they lose to Iowa State.
Yeah.
Then they go to Texas and, they win. It's ugly and gross, but they win.
They hosted Texas.
Texas, I'm sorry. Then they go to Oklahoma and they get beat. They go to Tech, and it's 27-3, but that was not a 27-3 game.
No.
Like, it was just
It was a weird game.
And then the TCU game, it was like, or the Baylor game rather, it's like, it's fine. They get a comfortable win, but you felt like they really should have put the boots to them.
Right.
Earlier, especially.
Yeah.
I'm just not super confident in TCU's ability to really put together everything that they need to take down Oklahoma. I think it's like a 9-point game, and so I'm going to take Oklahoma -7.
I'm extremely here for TCU beating Oklahoma and the Big 12 costing themselves a spot in the college football playoff with their dumb game.
I would love nothing more than for TCU to win the conference and for Oklahoma to be left out. And for TCU, I mean, let's be real. I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the week, or maybe I didn't. TCU's not making the playoff.
No,
like the latest rankings came out, and basically, unless there is complete chaos ahead,
everyone
of them,
else loses.
Unless there's complete chaos ahead of them, and they beat Oklahoma by 30.
Yeah.
Then I don't think that they're going to get in the playoff. But I would love for them to win the conference. But I don't see it. I'm going to take Oklahoma -7.